Hey, it's Tuxedo Mark. It's 12:45. 10:45 p.m. on just turned 10:46 p.m. on Sunday, September 26, 2021. And this is my review of the episode of The Prisoner called The Chimes of Big Ben. Okay, so since doing my last review, I've read some stuff. I posted questions on the Prisoner subreddit, and I've been trying to do. Okay, first, let me back up a bit. This episode is number 5 in Patrick McGowan's so-called 7 episodes that count of The Prisoner, because supposedly he wanted to make only around 6 or 7 episodes. They asked for more, and he got 17 out of them. But this episode was supposedly number 5 in the list of 7. But, well, okay, first of all, let me bring up the spreadsheet and tell you the range for this episode in the various orders that I found. The range is fairly small, anywhere from episode 2 to episode 7. It was produced 5th. The original scheduled order and the original UK broadcast order was 2. But the various orders that I found listed at number 2, 4, 5, or 7. So yeah. So as I said, Patrick McGowan supposedly put this at number 5 in his list of 7, canonical episodes. But I found out that that's not quite true, because first of all, I decided to ask where this order came from, where this specific list of episodes in this specific order came from, because a lot of Prisoner sites on the internet mention this order, but none of them cited a source for this order. So that made me curious as to where this information came from. Now, when I had read about his alternate 6 of 7 order, where he listed 6 episodes out of 7, leaving one of them kind of mysterious, in a 1991 interview, which turned out to be the last major interview that he did about the series, and that list is different from the commonly cited, McGowan 7. So I asked about it, and apparently he was correcting misinformation given in a book from 1988 called The Prisoner Companion, or The Prisoner's Companion, or something like that. Apparently, according to him, there were a lot of errors in the book, including the list of 7 episodes. Now, I personally, when I initially came across the list of 7 episodes, thought it was definitive, that there was a source of him specifically giving this list of 7 episodes in this order. But no, as it turns out, this list of 7 that people keep posting on various sites around the internet is from a long discredited book that didn't even cite its source within the book. Yeah, so apparently he did an interview in 1991 where he listed 6 of 7 episodes. And, all right, first, okay, I'll back up. The McGowan 7 as it's called. The order would be Arrival, Free for All, The Chimes of Big Arrival, Free for All, Dance of the Dead, Checkmate, The Chimes of Big Ben, Once Upon a Time, and Fallout. But the McGowan 6 of 7 that he gives in the audio interview are Arrival, Free for All, The Chimes of Big Ben, which I'm reviewing today, supposedly at number 3. The number 4 episode is Unrevealed. And then number 5 is Many Happy Returns. And then Once Upon a Time and Fallout. Okay. I'm not going to change my viewing order based on this because this is the last of the 5 episodes early on in the series that were in the McGowan 7 order. Now, after this, there are a lot of the so-called filler episodes until we get toward the end of the series, with the exception of Many Happy Returns, which is about halfway through the series. That is supposedly number 5 in the order that he gave in that audio interview in 1991. Right. So, now that that's all sufficiently muddled for all of you, I'll get into the episode itself. So we see the new number 2 in the little introduction after the theme song. And he is played by Leo Mckern. And honestly, I was debating whether to watch this episode now or later near the end of the series, because Leo Mckern returns as number 2 in the 2-part series finale. So, yeah. In the McGowan 7 order that keeps being spread around the internet, he basically plays number 2 for the final 3 canonical episodes of the series. But in the order that Patrick McGowan gives in that audio interview, The Chimes of Big Ben is number 3, and then there are 2 episodes after that, and then where he doesn't play number 2, and then he returns as number 2 for the 2-part series finale. So I was thinking of waiting to watch this episode near the end of the series, but I just decided to do it now. All right, so the episode starts with number 6 waking up to an announcement on the radio that there's an upcoming arts and crafts show in the village, and everyone's encouraged to participate and submit something or whatever. Let's see. Number 6 plays chess outside with an old guy called the General. He talks with number 2 for a bit. Okay. You know how in the introduction you see the new number 2? And I think it might actually be the person actually providing the audio for number 2 in the introductions. I think it's done by the actor themselves, not a standard voiceover type thing, even though the lines spoken by number 6 are clearly just recycled in every episode. But anyway, what I'm wondering is if maybe those little introductions are canonical, because it would show the new number 2 introducing themselves at the beginning of each episode, but then later on when we get into the episode proper, number 6 is already familiar with that number 2. So the only I don't know. But anyway, A helicopter arrives in the village, dropping off a woman. Number 6 asks about her. Supposedly, she's just being brought here for treatment. But number 2 and number 6 observe her. Supposedly, her name is Nadia. And Nadia Rakovsky. And she's played by an actor named Nadia Gray. Now, she, despite having a Russian name, claims she's Estonian. She doesn't have an Estonian accent. And Nadia Gray, who plays her, was actually Romanian. But she claims to be Estonian. And she claims that she knows where the village is located. And that's in Lithuania, about 30 miles from the Polish border. Anyway, no. Number 2 wants number 6 to be hospitable to Nadia. Number 6, he doesn't agree to give information, like why he resigned, which is what they're after. But he agrees to be more of a team player, get into the village life, even enter the art, submit an entry to the arts and crafts festival or show or whatever it is. In exchange for Nadia being released to his custody. Number 2 is finally like, all right. By the way, number 2 keeps holding a tape recorder or something, and he keeps dictating additional information and revisions to his files regarding number 6. In fact, when he has number 6 over for tea, number 6 is just kind of messing around with him. He's sitting on his computer console. He's refusing to tell whether he gets sugar in his tea and how many lumps. So number 2 has to look it up in the file. And then when number 6 pours himself a second cup of tea, he puts 3 lumps of sugar into it just to completely mess with number 2. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so number 6 and Nadia go into the woods. Number 6 brings down a tree with an axe that he made, and he makes a wooden thing because number 2 looked in his file and said that he was at the top of his class for wood carving when he was like 15 or something. So number 6 creates this wooden abstract art piece for the Arts and Crafts show, and he has to explain to judges what it represents and stuff like that. Now, an older lady has won like the over 60 competition for making like a mural or a tapestry, a tapestry with number 2's face on it. And all of the entries supposedly have to include number 2 in some way or another. The current number 2, anyway. So number 6 wins the overall competition, and he decides to use his prize money to purchase the old lady's tapestry to hang in his home. But what he really uses it for is to make a sale, to use it as a sale for like this little boat or something that he and Nadia are going to escape from the village on. So they get on there at night, and by the time that anyone notices that they're gone, they're like 30 miles out, just at the very edge of the village's territory. So number 2 orders an orange alert, which means, that balloon the white balloon thing. The rover comes out of the water and chases after them. But there's a sharpshooter on a cliff that shoots at it, and number 6 and Nadia abandon the raft and they make a swim toward a cave. Now this guy's with Nadia. They're working together, and he trades watches with the guy just to supposedly make sure that to keep time properly or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, they get put in wooden boxes to get shipped by ship and by plane or whatever to various different countries, to like Copenhagen and all this stuff, and finally to London. Okay, so they have to spend this trip in these wooden crates. And they're right next to each other with like a wall between them. So every so often, Nadia would talk to him, and he gets kind of tired of her questions. But she keeps calling him Big Ben because he had mentioned Big Ben and its chimes earlier in the episode. So yeah, she called it Big Bill at first. He had to correct her, and later on she calls him Big Ben, but he's like Big Bill. So I don't know if that means that he was revealing his name to her. Probably not, but later on she keeps calling him Big Ben, and he's like, yeah. Anyway, they finally get into an office in London, right? So they get they get taken out of the crate. Nadia gets taken away, and number 6 is talking to like his boss or whatever. I forget, but I'm wondering if it's the same guy that he submitted his resignation to that we see in the theme song every time. I forget, but anyway. Let me see really quick. Yeah, his name is Colonel J. Oh yeah, he's a British government official and former supervisor of number 6 prior to his resignation. So oh, and he has another former supervisor named Fotheringay. Anyway, so no, that, or is this the guy that that we see in the opening? I forget, but anyway, or maybe it's neither of them. But anyway, so number 6 talks with Colonel J for a while. And then he hears Big Ben chiming 8 o'clock, which is the same time on his watch. But the thing is, the watch was given to him by a Polish guy, so why would it be set to British time when Poland is 1 hour ahead of England? So, number 6 discovers a tape player inside a cabinet that's playing all the sound effects of traffic and Big Ben that's supposedly coming from outside. So then he leaves the room, he goes to the hallway and opens the door and realizes he's still in the village. So this whole thing was an elaborate setup. And Fotheringay and Nadia are standing with number 2. So they were all in on it. And Colonel J talks with number 2 for a bit before heading back to London. So this whole thing was just a setup to try to get number 6 to reveal why he resigned. And number 6 did give some clues, like it was a matter of conscience, but he doesn't specify anything. And we don't even hear what he says when he's resigning in the opening theme song, because all that we hear is music and clashes of thunder. Anyway, so yeah, his supervisors know where he is, so they're in on it. His former supervisors that he worked for. So, and Nadia was in on it, and presumably that Polish guy too. I think his name was Karel. I think that was his name. So yeah. So he's right back where he started, back in the village. Okay, so now for a while we're going to be getting into the episodes that supposedly Patrick McGowan doesn't count or counts as filler or whatever, like not the important episodes. Even though from what I read on the Reddit, apparently someone disputed that a perfectionist such as him would select only a few episodes of the series as being worthy of watching and discard the rest. But 6 or 7 episodes was the standard length for a British TV season at the time, apparently. So yeah. But anyway, so I've got my little order that I came up with to view them in. I don't think it'll matter all that much, honestly, because he can't really escape until the series finale. Right? So I don't think it'll matter much which order that I view the episodes in, but just go take it one day at a time, one episode at a time. So yeah, it's 11:08 p.m. and that's it. Thanks for watching.